In today's vlog, we're gonna be all over the place. We're gonna be looking at this rhino viper taking a tubby. Kevin meets Justin Kobylka, and they have a awkward but adorable interaction. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Do it. Get him with the enema thing. Get him. You're getting an enema later. You've been terrible.
I have nothing to do with giving schmedley enemas. That is all you do.
Enjoy the video.
Is Kevin trying to get you to wear that?
He was, yeah.
I wonder why he has that.
I don't know, but I do kind of like the belt, though.
Yeah, the belt's cool. I think some chick left that at his house.
Yeah,
or some
maybe so.
dude, I don't know.
Could, maybe both.
Maybe it's his.
Ooh.
Hey guys, ask Kevin about his Hot Topic belt in the comment section.
It is a Hot Topic belt.
I'm gonna tell you a little interesting thing, Donnie. I was teaching this to Kevin. So let's say I have 2 clutches of eggs from the same female. Sometimes one clutch will start hatching, and as one clutch hatches, the activity of one animal hatching will often stimulate the others to hatch. And then you can sit here where the other clutch, with no babies hatching, nothing is going on.
Stop.
Oh, Smadley?
Stop touching things.
Oh, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
Did you know that it sometimes takes 6 to 7 months to hatch a Vareta salvator? And monitor lizards are very evolved miniature dinosaurs. Did you know that?
Didn't know that. Yeah.
So what do you think, Donnie?
I think Kevin's better at this than you.
This happens to be a baby from our white dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a heterozygous for white dragon. Everybody's going, what's a white dragon? It's a white monitor. Shh.
Okay. Wow. No. Do it. Get him with the enema thing. Get him. There you go. You're getting an enema later. You've been terrible.
I have nothing to do with giving schmedley enemas. That is all you do.
He's going sideways to you?
Right.
So, stop.
Oh, come here.
Stop. You're gonna do it. Come here. So, hold on. Come here. He's worried about us. But he's a little worried, so he's just telling me what he's as nice as can be.
But he was going sideways on you?
Well, he was going, we both walked up to him, and he's freaked out. He comes into this room. He's like, oh, I don't usually live here, and just rip your shirt off.
Yeah.
Wow, you're amazing. And so powerful.
Who's the guy next to you?
This is Justin Kobylka. So Justin is getting to meet the dad of his little water monitor. And he got himself a little black dragon.
Big old beast.
And
Guys, make sure you go check out Justin's video on him receiving the black dragon. It's very interesting. Let him know that we sent you there and leave comments and make sure you like that video.
No, spoiler alert. Don't watch the video, then you'll find out.
Yeah, I'll put a card up. I'll put a card up so you guys can watch that video. He actually ranked it. He could have destroyed us, but he didn't. So thank you.
oh, I'm actually glad that the monitor, he actually, I have to give huge credit to my buddy here, adhered exactly to how to do it. And he listened and didn't just decide, I'm just gonna do it my way anyways. And he did it perfect.
Justin has a channel with a lot of ball pythons.
We talk about ball pythons. We went real deep with the morphs and stuff, because that's definitely my specialty. But just educational, and if you like pretty ball pythons, it's the place to be.
It might be known that I actually like ball pythons too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I still have all sorts of stuff.
So explain to me, I was curious because it was slapping you at first.
Yeah, because I was towering over it, and I was basically what it said. I call it like losing their cookies.
Yeah.
They're worried. So it's doing like the natural defense thing is like my brain needs to catch up. So doing the slapping the tail and all that. So I need to do is like change my behavior. I brought myself down lower, and I just gave him a second to let his brain catch up because they're so genius.
So you didn't push that negative position by forcing
Because
yourself
remember
on.
my threads? So if I do, like every interaction is still a thread. Very good, Donnie. And the thread is, I can have a negative thread. So this is, see right here I'm picking off? This is because sometimes I get mulch, and the mulch comes in, because if we remember,
Just cypress?
and it comes in with, certain times of the year it comes in with like ticks in it, and then you put your guy in there, and now I'm gonna hang no pest strips in the cages to actually address this. We don't seem to do anything, but it's just like out of nowhere. He's probably easy 12 years old.
So is he the dad to most of the black dragons you make?
Yeah, he's the male, and then all the females are absolute, pretty much pure Colmani, so they're all small. He probably somewhere along the line. I got this originally from Vital Exotics, so I'm not exactly sure if there's any Sumatran, but see how big and wonderful he is? And no ill will at all to you. And black dragons are often not like, known to be like the sweetest. You'll certainly have animals that are wonderful, but when you when you breed these guys, the babies they're often, they want to bite and wonderful. You're so wonderful. Look, see that? So he just sits up. He's very confident. So ridiculous.
Want to get your black dragon this big, Justin?
Someday. I'm enjoying when he's small though, but this is
That's
impressive.
that's he has.
You don't have to go to a gym membership if you own one of these.
He's had a lot of food opportunities in life. Like it's my guy's like, well, he's hungry, so you just fed him like half, like a chicken, essentially.
It's like a retic. It's just going somewhere. You can redirect it, but it's going somewhere. You can't stop it.
Let's see, and then just being able to. You want to make it so like when I got him from Chris, not friendly, like jerk.
And then how old was it at that point?
It was a bigger animal. It was I think it was probably half grown.
There you go. Kevin, how often should we be feeding these?
3 times a week. So one thing I also noticed, people often take their monitors, just because it eats and it's willing to eat all the time doesn't mean that you should be feeding it all the time and doing all that, because you'll get things called fatty liver disease, and that is actually very unhealthy for the species. So letting them get a little, he's a big boy, he wants to eat all the time, but letting them get hungry and leaner. I see these people like, oh, my dragon's like 8 months old, 12 months old, and I'm like, well, that's awfully big. I don't think that long term is a really great thing. I think you're gonna shorten their life. I have in here this Wretched, she's over 20 years old, and I produced her. Oh, you're gonna just like turn, yeah.
Your Wretched's not really a big fan of me looming over her with a camera. She's a little spicy, that's why she's hitting me with her tail. Ouch! Ouch! She's pretty good at it. She's very tactical. She could hit me right in the face if she wanted.
I got distracted. What were we just saying?
About feeding them, like about 3 times a week.
Okay, so 3 times a week.
Okay.
So this thing called fatty liver disease, and so we need to make sure these animals, where they come from, can really bask super hot, and they're always eating all sorts of different kind of foods. So here's something that people don't understand. If I take one of these guys and I feed it, let's say some fish, some chicken, beef or anything like that, and if it's tainted with coliform type bacteria, just leaving it out, where it comes up to room temperature, Salmonella, E. coli, and if I let this guy eat it and I don't allow this animal to get up to its optimal body temperature, I can actually cause this animal to suffer a massive immune response and have a massive bacterial infection that will kill it. And they'll get like blood around their mouth, their eyes will start closing, and so when you feed these a big meat meal, they need to be able to go and digest that food. So if I give them these extraordinary large meat meals, and let's say my basking temperature is, let's say 100 degrees, you can basically put this guy into a place where his immune response is challenged, and he'll get sick and it will kill them, like big time. So these guys can get fatty liver disease, and that means that they're eating all sorts of material, but they're they're not metabolizing it, and they're storing all this energy in all their fat cells. So they fill all their fat cells, and then they start storing fat in their liver. And then at that point, it's very harmful for these guys, and it'll shorten their lives. So you can have this big, beautiful animal, and then one day it dies. Like I said, there's a 20-something-year-old female that just recently laid eggs that I produced a long time ago. And if you want, I think these animals are 20, 25-year-old animals that they can live, comfortably like that.
Okay. So you sent mine with some roaches. Will not eat the roaches. Loves crickets.
Do you put the roaches in
We
the
did.
cup?
We put it in a cup. He came look at him, walked away. Loves fuzzy mice. Loves crickets.
So the insects are, they start out, a lot of their meals, yours might have already graduated. So we start them with the insects because they're driven by movement. And then ultimately, like you could start with, let's say, scrambled eggs and chopped meat, and the babies won't even eat it.
Really?
Because they're responsive to movement. And then, so you work with the insects being crickets, the lobster roaches, speckled roaches, and orange heads. And then you start introducing the chopped meat and scrambled eggs and all that type of stuff. Scrambled. So take a hard-boiled egg, crush it with the shell all over it. Just crush, and just mash it into a flat plate and let them walk through there, because that's what they eat, here. And you're getting all the benefit of the calcium. Then they can just digest. Because think about it, that's all it is.
We got lots of chickens, so that's no problem.
So so don't I.
You see the chicken collection he has out in the parking lot? He loves roosters, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You bring him inside and
you ever chase the customers?
Sometimes, yes. Not too often though. I go and I usually educate the chicken, the rooster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If you pick them up and grab them, and then you start rubbing its face.
And it's not a dog anymore.
Yeah, you just got to just bring them down. It's all just hierarchy, and you just hold it, and and then after about 20 minutes, it's just like, and gives up, and then you put it down, and they never attack me again.
Really?
Those horns are fucking bananas. I fucking love this species. They're so damn cool. I know, I see you.
Alright, so I think it's me.
Do not use the Lord's name in vain.
Sorry.
This is Fruity Pebbles, one of our rhino vipers here at New England Reptile, and we're just taking him out today to give him a little bit of a soak. It's super important to give these guys a soak every once in a while to make sure that they stay nice and hydrated. This is probably one of my favorite species of venomous snakes on the planet. Such a beautiful animal, really, really cool. Make sure that if you like this video, that you smash that like button, subscribe to the New England Reptile YouTube channel, give us a comment down below in the comment section. Let me know what your favorite species of venomous snake is, and make sure you check us out on Twitch and on Instagram at New England Reptile.
Who's that in the background? Kevin!
The electrician.
Kevin's doing too much maintenance and not enjoying his Camaros.
Hey,
What?
it's serious business.
I know.
Born to oxidize.
Born to oxidize.
Born to oxidize,
That's
Jesus. So this is a rhino viper. They come from Africa. They are actually really prone to dehydration. So one of the important parts of keeping these animals in captivity is to make sure that they get regular soaks, to make sure that they're staying really well hydrated, which is why some people don't do really great with the Kobylka.
Going up
Let me
the...
start. Yeah, let me start. So I'm gonna climb up the hook, and then I'm sitting here looking at it, not thinking about what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it's harder than people think, I think, to make these videos while working with venomous stuff, especially if you're by yourself.
Okay, there we go.
Kevin's mastered it. You gotta get on his level too.
Yeah, I do.
Alright.
He's got way more experience. He was handling venomous snakes when I was born.
So what's he doing right here?
It's basically just trying to climb up the hook. These guys are not particularly fast when they're just moving around, so I'm not really worried about it climbing up super duper fast, but I do not want it to climb too close to my hands.
Right.
Okay, so let's see if we can get this here. Okay, so this is Fruity Pebbles. This is one of our rhino vipers here at New England Reptile. And one of the things with rhino vipers is that they're very prone to dehydration. So one of the things that we do to be proactive about that is we give them regular soaks to make sure that they have the opportunity to drink up, stay really well hydrated. And that's why a lot of people don't do well with rhino vipers in captivity in the US. They generally don't give them enough opportunities to hydrate themselves. So we make sure that we take these guys out regularly, make sure they get nice, good, regular soaks, and make sure that they have every opportunity to stay really well hydrated. And so this is an adult male. He can get a little bit bigger than this, but not too much bigger. Really, really beautiful snake, and these are one of my favorite species of venomous snakes on the planet. They're very closely related to the gaboon. You can see how they kind of have a similar pattern to what a gaboon viper has. but they're much more colorful. They've got like green, blue. When they're younger, they show off a lot of red. They've got this nice black on them. They're absolutely gorgeous. They've got these heavily keeled and textured scales on them. And they've got those horns on the front of their face right there. I don't know if you can see that.
Yep.
But man, these are such an incredible snake. They're a little bit smaller than the gaboon vipers, but again, very closely related. There's certain localities that have got some really nice coloration to them, like the Uganda locality usually has lots of blues and yellows and lots of red on them, but there's not a whole lot of those in the United States. So rhino vipers are a little bit smaller than the gaboons, but they're also a little bit more touchy when it comes to care. You generally have to do soaks with them a couple times a month to make sure that they stay nice and hydrated. They're another very cryptic animal, so they tend not to want to move around a whole lot. They kind of wait in ambush for their prey to walk by and then spring out. They've got this incredibly fast strike to grab whatever they're biting onto.
You guys can see what the colors look like.
Blues and the reds and the yellow highlights and everything.
Yeah, I'm using the shield right now so I can get a little bit closer, but can you guys see that? Leave a note in the comments if you can see this.
The color
Looks like a dragon, dude.
They do. The scales on them are just bananas.
He's been awfully polite and hasn't hit my camera once. So that's really neat of him.
They don't bite unless they think they can hit something.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the bin real quick. We'll give him a quick little soak, see if he wants to drink up any, and then after that we'll set him back up and put him back into his enclosure. How beautiful is that? Check that out.
You dip your toes in just a little bit. Now is that cold water or is that warm water?
This is like just above room temp water, so not particularly hot, not particularly cold. You're fine.
Does he not know that he needs to be hydrated?
This one right here is not a fan of being on the hooks. So gaboons, rhinos, and a lot of the other Bitis species, they have got kind of fragile ribs. So when they're on a thinner hook, they can actually damage their ribs pretty easily. So when they're on a thin hook like this, sometimes it can cause them to be a little bit uncomfortable. So when they feel the hook, sometimes they're like, no, I'm not interested in doing that. The one thing I don't like about these bins. I like these bins because they have the gaskets on them, but they don't always line straight up when you put them on. So give them a little bit to drink up in here, and then we will put them back. Careful as possible and everything. I heard you. Okay, so the Rhino Viper's had a little bit of time now to hydrate itself, to drink up, so we're gonna stick it back. But make sure that if you like this video, that you smash that like button, subscribe to the New England Reptile channel here on YouTube for more updates. We're gonna be trying to show off a little bit more of our venomous collection so you guys can see some of these really beautiful animals that we work with here at Nerd.
I gotta turn my camera on, dude.
You didn't turn your camera.